Good morning. Yay. A lively crowd. We are so happy to see you today. Give everybody a moment to come in and take a seat. This is a great, beautiful, wonderful day, and I'm so glad you choose to stay your morning with us. My name is Mason Sawyer, and I'm the Vice President for Student Success Services. And again, I'd like to thank you and welcome you to our Veterans Appreciation, Veterans Recognition Ceremony. And so glad again that you came to join us today. We see lots of high schoolers and middle schoolers here. This is one of the first times, um, elementary school, I'm sorry, I put you guys in middle school already. You look so grown up. We're so glad to have you all with us today. I want to welcome you again. This is something that we have annually. We always want to recognize our veterans for your service and for your sacrifices that you've given to us and the freedoms that we have because of your service. And so we want to thank you and salute you and dedicate this entire ceremony to you and your families and your sacrifices. Please stick around for the entire ceremony if you can, because after that we will have some food. Right, okay. And also for the veterans who are here, there are some vendors on the outside. You may have passed those on the way in. Please stick around and stop by the tables and see what kind of services and opportunities that there may be for you to take advantage of. So again, welcome. And at this time, if you wouldn't mind standing, we're going to do our presentation and posting of colors from our Reagan High School Junior ROTC.
Will you all please stand for the singing of National Anthem by Miss Sean Adams?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free and the home of the brave.
Now I'd like to call Southwest Elementary School for a Pledge of Allegiance.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now y'all may be seated. Good morning, administrators, faculty, staff, special guests, and most importantly, our veterans. Welcome to the 2022 Veterans Recognition Celebration. I am Renuka Khatri, an Associates of Science college transfer student and the 2022-2023 Student Government Association president, and I will be presiding. This occasion is an honor and celebrates our veterans and recognizes you for your level of professionalism, service, leadership, dedication, and commitment to excellence you have demonstrated to our great country. John F. Kennedy once said, "As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them." We truly believe each of you has lived by your words and love for this country. And for this, we say thank you. Please join me in celebrating our Veterans Day with a round of applause. Now I'd like to welcome to the podium Forsyth Technical Community College's president, Dr. Janet Spriggs, for welcome. Let's welcome her at this time.
Thank you, Renuka, and good morning, everyone. And thank you for all of you who are here with us, joining us today for this very special occasion. I'd like to officially welcome you to Forsyth Tech and to our Veterans Day celebration and this tribute to those who have served in our armed forces. I'd also like to especially thank the Reagan High School Junior ROTC for the presentation of colors and for being here with us today. Sean, thank you so much. I've lost Sean. I'm not sure where she went, but that was a beautiful, heartwarming rendition of our national anthem, and thank you so much. Sean is one of our students here at Forsyth Tech. I want to begin today by recognizing those of you who are here with us who have served. So if you are a veteran, please, or if you're still serving in one of our armed forces, please stand so that we can recognize you and applaud your commitment to our country. Thank you so much, and it's so wonderful to see so very many of you here with us today. Today, it is our privilege to say thank you to those of you with us, but to all of America's veterans, our students, our community members, our family members, neighbors, and friends, all of you who have sacrificed so much in service and love of your country and to protect us and our freedoms. We appreciate your service and we honor your commitment and your sacrifices. I think that so often you hear those words, and I hope they don't ring hollow. I want you to know that at Forsyth Tech, we say what we mean and we mean what we say. And we are extremely privileged and grateful and proud of each and every one of you, and so thankful for your service again and your love of our country. Those of you who are students, but those of you who are also here as members of our community. And if you're not usually a part of our Forsyth Tech family, again, thanks for being here. I hope this isn't the last time that you'll be with us. And I'd like to say one last time, thanks for joining us. Let's take this moment together to be grateful for all the blessings that we have during this month of gratitude as we approach Thanksgiving Day. And of course, what we are most grateful for today, again, is the sacrifice that all of you have made in service to your country. Thank you and welcome to Forsyth Tech.
Thank you again, Dr. Spriggs. At this time, we will have a military melody video presentation. We ask that all veterans or active duty servicemen and women please stand and be recognized when your branch of military is presented. At this time, will you stand and join me for a moment of silence in remembrance of all our veterans we have lost? Thank you. You may be seated. Now, I'd like to welcome to the podium Mrs. Latrell Cornegave with a special poem.
You gave your life to serve our country, whether it be by land, by sea, or air. Both men and women made a sacrifice to serve our country because they cared. You are all unique in your own way, a talent that no other could compare. So today I express my gratefulness because your braveness is one many wouldn't dare. You left behind everything that you love, your family, your home, and lives, because to you, being a soldier in this world is what kept your heart alive. Many of you returned home safely to perhaps music and lovely marching bands, but there are many who fought that didn't, and we honor them together today when we stand. No amount of words would be enough to give you all what you are due, but on this Veterans Day, you're honored for your service from me to you.
Thank you, Latrell, for such a great inspirational poem. Now I'd like to welcome to the podium Southwest Elementary Student Council, honoring our veterans with a special thank you.
This country has not seen and probably will never know the true level of sacrifice of our veterans. Thank you for your service.
On this Veterans Day, let us remember the service of our veterans, and let us renew our national promise to fulfill our sacred obligations to our veterans and their families who have sacrificed so much that we can live free. Freedom makes a huge requirement of every human being. With freedom comes responsibility.
It doesn't take a hero to order men into battle. It takes a hero to be one of those men who goes into battle.
Our flag does not fly because of the wind that moves it. It flies with the last breath of each soldier who died protecting it.
A true soldier fights not because he hates what is in front of him, but because he loves what is behind him.
The veterans of our military services have put their lives on the line to protect the freedom that we enjoy. They have dedicated their lives to their country. They deserve to be recognized for their commitment.
Thank you so much. At this time, please welcome our keynote speaker, Chief Master Sergeant Douglas McIntyre, who served in the United States Air Force and is currently an aerospace science instructor at Ronald Wilson Reagan High School. Let's welcome him at this time.
All right. First of all, before I forget, I don't like to thank Forsyth Tech for having this ceremony to begin with. If we don't honor our veterans, we'll forget where we came from, and we'll forget what we're fighting for. So I have a partner in crime at Reagan High School. His name is Major Mark Benyo, and he's been cheating on this for the last few years. And I was like, hey, you think you can give a chief a shot to come on over here? And I didn't tell anybody. Actually, one of my daughters still goes here. So I'm not only speaking as a veteran today, as an educator, I'm speaking as a parent of a Forsyth Tech student. So they asked me a little bit about my journey, right? I'm entering my 39th year of wearing this uniform. So, you know, and when you go in the military, I went in 3 October 1984, right? Yeah, we had a military back then. And, you know, I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew nobody was recruiting a 5'11", 140-pound cornerback. So I went into the Air Force, and they shipped me off to Alaska. I don't hunt, I don't fish, so I was cold, and got involuntary extended 2 months, and the good Lord was looking out for me. They sent me to Myrtle Beach Air Force Base after that. That's my hook, right? Everybody know what I'm talking about in the military. They send me to a cold place and say, hey, you re-enlist, we're going to send you to Myrtle Beach. Sign me up. So I went off to Myrtle Beach. That's really where I learned what it was all about. I did my first kind of, we called it a TDY back then. I went to a Bright Star in Egypt. And as a young kind of airman, I figured out, hey, I'm on a special team here. We went there. There was just a runway in a desert. And in a matter of days, we were flying combat missions out of there. And I decided at that point that I was going to be an airman for life. And so I continued on in my career. My daughter made me do this app around the country. I think I've been to 22% of the world. So it doesn't sound like a lot until you start plugging in all the countries. But from Alaska, went to Myrtle Beach, like I said. I went to Bright Star, deployed for the first Gulf War. So I'm a Desert Shield, Desert Storm guy as well. There you go. Went there for 8 months, came back, and went to this place called Hanscom Air Force Base. Anybody ever heard of that? Just outside of Boston. I'd never heard of it. I guess I was working too hard. They said, hey, Sarge, you need to slow down. You're making us look bad. I came out of Air Combat Command. I was a hard charger. I was a staff sergeant. I got up there, and they asked me what my duty hours are going to be. I was like, what do you mean? I get to pick? And so I had the chief pull me aside and say, hey, this is where you take care of everything else. I was there 6 years. I got there as an E5. I left as an E7, got my 2-year degree, my bachelor's degree, and my master's degree, all in 6 years at Hanscom Air Force Base. So I was like, well, must be time to get married. And got married. My first kid was on the way, leaving Hanscom. I went out to work for the Defense Logistics Agency for 3 years, made E8. I went down to Langley after that, made chief first time. I was 19 years in as a chief, my rank today, and I was like, well, now what? I told my wife, let me do 2 more years and we'll retire. Well, again, I did 31 years in 1 month. I had some colonels look at me and say, hey, you need to be a command chief. And so I went off. I was a command chief in Germany, Portugal, Kuwait, Iraq. Then I was a senior enlisted leader in Japan, and I finished my career up as the Air Force Base Command Chief working for the 4-star. And let me just tell you, when you do that, and you start your transition to teach JROTC, it's quite a transition. I remember my first year sitting in the office, and a 14-year-old could not figure out how to tie dress shoes with round laces. And so I had him put his foot up on the desk. I'm tying his shoe, and my oldest daughter is sitting in my class laughing at me. And she's like, what are you doing? She said, last year you're flying around on a G4 with a general. Now you're driving an activity bus and teaching 14-year-olds how to tie shoes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a calling. It's a calling. Serving in the military for 31 years, you can't fake that. You have to believe in it. My students will tell you, I believe in those core values of excellence, service, and integrity first. I try to live out for them every single day. And when I don't, and I make a mistake, I own up to it, and we press forward. So how do you transition from active duty, hard charging, to teaching high schoolers? It was rough for me. About 3 months into the job, Major Benio had to sit me down and say, Chief, some of the kids think you're actually going to kill them. And I had to transition my mind from, I'm no longer with people who raised their hand to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. I'm with teenagers who took a class, right? So it took me a while to transition. The major was new, I was new. They don't tell you what to do. They send you off to your first JROTC and say, hey, after you do your first school year, that summer we'll train you. So I'm learning everything on the fly. I'm trying to do the best I can. And it dawned on me that being a teacher is a calling, right? These guys would see right through me if I was not authentic. If I didn't believe that I could teach them how to become a leader, they wouldn't believe it, right? And we took a program that, I like to use the term clown show, but I probably shouldn't use that term. But it was just kind of there. Everybody know what I'm talking about? It existed, it was there. They had won no awards, and me and the major, we sat down, we charted a path, and we've been together. This is our 8th year together. Last year, just for example, the district, if you don't know, JROTC in Winston-Salem is huge. There's 10 schools that have JROTC units, 2 Air Force, 8 Army, okay? When I first got here, the Army used to clap for us because we'd win one little trophy in the competition, they'd clap. Last year at the drill competition, we took first place every event. We took first place overall. We took first place in marksmanship. We took first place in orienteering. We took a lot of first place. And for 3 years in a row, my seniors that are here, they have never known what it's like not to be the Commander's Cup winner as the best JROTC in the district. So we have accomplished a lot because they have bought into the culture, all right? And the theme that I just wanted to talk about today is, I think when you transition as a veteran, and thank every veteran out here for your service. If you're a family member of a veteran, thank you for your support over the years. I know I couldn't have done, I'm the baby out of 5. And I went all around the world, but I always knew my 4 little sisters, my mom and dad had my back. So that's what helped me thrive. So not only if you're a veteran, I thank you today, I thank family members today. And, you know, in the end, if you're not called to teach, you might want to figure that out. Because I will tell you that there's something magical about putting young people in the proper position to excel and then watching that light turn on in their eyes. Watching them think, I have at least 3, I think, first-year cadets. I talked to them about a month ago. There are drill competitions that has to be led and done by first-year cadets. They don't know how to do anything yet. I said, but believe me, when you get to your first competition, you'll be prepared, right? They've had 2 competitions. What did you finish? What? First? Oh, okay. So at the end of the day, you know, just like being in the military for 31 years, it was calling. You can't fake it. If you want to do something to be inspirational, in my eyes, teach. What they do here and the other high schools, you can get a lot of things taken away from you in life. A good, solid education, nobody can take from you. So I applaud all the teachers and professors here at Forsyth Tech for doing the job that you do, preparing our young people to go out in the world. I want to thank all the veterans that showed up here today. And once again, I want to thank Forsyth Tech for putting this on. Because there would be, you know, life's all about choices, and I know our country may seem divided, but there would be no country without our military, right? People don't understand when you raise your right hand, yeah. Everybody who serves knows when you raise your right hand, you're giving up some of your rights to protect the rights of others. And once you figure that out, there's no greater cause. So I want to thank you guys for the opportunity of bringing my great cadets out here. I want you to thank you guys for recognizing veterans, and God bless America and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief, for sharing with us today, as well as your service to our great country. At this time, I would like to call Ms. Ann Everett to the podium for a special recognition. Let's welcome her at this time.
Good morning. It's so good to be here. There's something about being in a room that has veterans in it that just, it's wonderful. Thank you for coming. I have the great privilege today of doing something I've had a few years to be able to do. And if you don't already know, there is an organization called the Quilts of Valor Foundation. And quilters make quilts to be able to present them to deserving veterans. And I've been a part of it for quite a few years now and have had the privilege of giving quilts and presenting quilts to some of our employees. And today I get to do that. And I would like to ask Bob Taylor to please come up to the stage. We are so privileged today to be able to present a Quilt of Valor to our very own Bob Taylor. And for those who may not know, he is a maintenance mechanic in our facilities department, and he's awesome. We can't do a lot of the things we do without people like Bob, so thank you, Bob. We are not only grateful for his service to us, being an employee, but for his bravery and service while serving in the U.S. Marine Corps. I am married to a Marine, and so I know what that means, and I really, really appreciate your service. And we are going to honor you with this Quilt of Valor, and I'm going to ask that these guys just take it out of the bag, because I figured with an engineer maintenance guy like Bob, I was going to reverse engineer the quilt for you today. So you're going to notice that this quilt is constructed in 4 parts. There is a top, which is the front of the quilt, and that top is made up of many different colors, shapes, and fabrics. That represents our country. We are a country made of many different shapes, colors, and fabrics. And that represents that. And all of us, as citizens of this country, depend on the bravery and service of our military to protect us. The batting, which is inside the quilt, you can't see it, but it's what makes the quilt warm. And that represents the support given to you by your family, your friends, your faith community, your friends here, your colleagues, and our Veterans Center. And the backing of the quilt, which is on the other side, that provides strength and stability to the rest of the quilt. And Bob, that represents your strength and bravery, not only while serving, but your inherent integrity throughout your life. And the very last piece of the quilt is the binding. It's the red binding on the outside. And one of the things we as quilters like to do is when we quilt that, we put an angular seam in it so that it's hidden. And you can't really tell where that is. It's hard to find. And that represents our eternal gratefulness to you and all of our veterans sitting here, because our thankfulness never ends. And when you look at this quilt going forward, every time you look at it, every stitch says thank you, thank you. And you know, many of the recipients of our quilts, some of them think, oh, well, I didn't see combat, or I didn't, I don't necessarily deserve this. And just like Sergeant shared, when you raised your hand, you signed a blank check. And there was no way for you to know what was going to be required of you. Many of those who died in service didn't know what was going to be required of them. But every person who signed that blank check to me absolutely deserves to be recognized and thanked. So it is with great honor that I present you with this today. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you all. At this time, we will have retiring of colors. At this time, I would like to welcome Ms. Cherise Villas for the closing remarks.
Thank you, guys. So good afternoon. I don't know if it's afternoon yet. What time is it? Good afternoon. My name is Cherise Velez. I am the Veterans Counselor here at Forsyth Tech. So we have come to a closing of this great occasion. On behalf of the Veterans Resource Center, Forsyth Tech Foundation, Harry Veterans Community Outreach, Bellevue University, we would like to say thank you to all of our students, faculty, staff, and special guests for joining us this afternoon. And another special thank you to all of our active duty servicemen and women and veterans for all that you do and have done for this great country. Let us give another round of applause. At this time, we want to take a moment of reflection to prepare for our reception. And I just want to tell you, thank you so much for this great afternoon/morning. But thank you guys so much. And thank everybody for being a part. Thank you, Bob, so much for your service. You guys have a wonderful day. We will be serving lunch. It's coming in, so as soon as it comes in, you're more than welcome to get you a lunch. And we will have our Vendors Expo, which is from 12 to 2. It is all veteran focused. So please, 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 if you need anything, we hope that you come in, get what you need, and you come back. How about that? Okay? And you guys have a wonderful day.